Essentially.
Yeah.
Welcome to Butcher Block Horror Podcast, where we exhume horror movies from the past and cut into what makes them so delectable. I'm Kane.
I'm JD.
And I'm Joe.
And today, we're throwing Near Dark onto the slab and carving up our favorite portions to force feed to you, our unwitting victims. If you enjoy the taste of these feasts of fright, then give us a like and subscribe. Be sure to click the bell. Consider going to our website, wegiveYouBrainworms.com. This will allow you to take a look at our other projects and give you access to our Patreon, where you can actually dump money into helping us produce whatever this is.
It is what it is.
There's also a Discord community that you can join, and there's a link right on the first page you get to.
If you go into the Discord, you can probably talk to, most likely, Kane. I might be in there. JD tends to be technology avoidant.
Is that how we're describing it now?
That seems like a polite way to explain it.
That's one way to say it.
Yeah.
Although, if our adoring listeners care to catch me, they can come visit me at our Instagram page.
Yeah, he's all over the Instagram.
I am all up on the Instagrams.
But yeah, I mean, if you have any interesting boils, pimples, rashes, or oozing orifices that you would like to send photos of to someone, JD is the perfect recipient of those.
Yeah, especially on your buttocks, crotch, and underarms.
It's true.
And I'm going to share them with Kane and Joe immediately. They'll be the first people to receive the photos after me, of course.
I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Sharing means caring. So yeah, Near Dark.
Sharing does mean caring. For
Big
so
Care
many
Bears
things.
taught me that. Yeah.
So many things. Why don't you give us a synopsis overview?
The synopsis overview. Yes, of course. A not-so-lonesome cowboy with a family meets a gorgeous gal at a local watering hole.
What kind of family?
Well, as far as I could tell, a sister and a father.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Would you call him a rhinestone cowboy?
No.
A rhinestone cowboy?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe. So yeah, immediately between the two of them ignite fires of immediate passion when suddenly a bite to the head holder complicates the situation further, leaving this so-called cowboy to decide between his family and a traveling band of vampires in search of blood.
Aren't we all in search of blood, though, really?
I'm definitely.
As long as I've got the blood that I have, I'm pretty happy in life, I'd say. I just want to keep the blood I've got.
But what if you had a lot more blood? Then you would just be winning.
I would share the blood if somebody really needed it, but, otherwise I'd just like to stay as I am.
Sure.
I mean, I guess if you want to be boring.
I'm a boring guy. I'm just, got this nerdy shit going on. I'm pretty content with it. So yeah, Near Dark, a neo-Western horror film, as it was called on Wikipedia. That was an interesting line to connect to a horror film. Never really had that experience before. Near Dark was released October 2nd of 1987. This film reeks of the 80s, by the way.
It has big 80s energy.
Yeah. If this film was a human head, it would have poodle hair. A full-on perm with lots of Aquanet in it.
Yeah. Maybe even like a mullet perm.
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Mullet perm and just a mobile hole in the ozone layer above each of the people in this movie.
Right.
Correct. It's a screen time of 95 minutes with a budget of $5 million, and it grossed $3.4 million at the box office. So,
not an overly popular movie at the box office.
Not overly popular with this film. However, the director, Kathryn Bigelow, who I'm going to talk about, she had some popular movies. Bigelow was born November 27th, 1951 in San Carlos, California. Near Dark was actually her directorial debut. She was, married to Scott Charles Bigelow, Bam Bam Bigelow in the Worldwide Wrestling Federation.
Which is so weird.
No, I just made that up. That's
okay, cool.
That's bullshit.
She was married
to,
because I didn't ever hear about that. I was like, why? Why did she do that?
Her husband, though, was James Cameron. You guys are familiar with James Cameron?
Yeah.
I have no idea who that is.
A lot of James Cameron crossover with this movie.
Yeah. He's a well-known director.
Wait, what movies is he known for?
Oh, I don't give a shit. None of them are horror.
He directed Muppets Save Manhattan.
Okay, cool.
Cool, right?
I mean, I guess.
That's a lie. James Cameron had nothing to do with that movie.
I think he might have done like Terminator.
Yeah. He did Terminator. He did Titanic.
Ugh. Fuck you, James
Titanic?
Cameron.
What's that fucking movie with the blue aliens?
Avatar.
Yeah, he was involved with that.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. I'm not a fan. Anyway, Bigelow, she's a well-respected director, producer, and screenwriter, if you can imagine that. Active since 1978 to present day. She's still going. I love presents. Anyway, I ain't getting shit. Bigelow directed a short film in 78 called The Setup. Couldn't find much about it. She did a few thrillers. Strange Days, which she directed in 1995. That's a like a sci-fi thriller, I believe.
Oh, it's not a horror movie?
Right, exactly.
I'm just fucking with you, JT. Do your business,
I
man.
I mean, and out of the stuff of hers that I would watch, but not really, I'd say her most famous film came out in 1991. That would be Point Break. Not really a fan of that brand of action film.
I am.
Everything else that she's done has been, and this is just my opinion, so that's my disclaimer for what I'm about to say, but just super gigantic douchebag military films that I don't give a fuck about.
Right.
Just bullshit like K-19, the Widowmaker, which is like a submarine movie filled with seamen in 2002, The Hurt Locker in 2009, Zero Dark 30 in 2012. Just like,
Just big military blockbuster kind of
yeah,
movies.
sorry, Kathryn, but didn't do it for me. Then she did a crime drama in 2017 called Detroit. And then in 2019, Triple Frontier, which is another action war flick. Totally not my thing. Although I didn't mind there's most war movies I'm really not into. I think I didn't mind like, what was that movie? Saving Private Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the porn version of that, really. Shaving Ryan's Privates. No, that's a joke. I don't care. Anyway.
Oh, we knew. It just wasn't. Yeah. I want the Price is Right when you're like spinning the wheel.
Uh-huh.
And it goes over and it's like, boom, boom.
I can make that happen.
Nah, I mean, we'll see.
Again, that's a slippery slope before you just become morning radio DJs.
Yeah, let's avoid that.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of sound effects, though. I really am. I'm into it.
We know. And we love you for it.
Anyway, Bigelow is well celebrated. She holds the distinction of being the only woman to win an Academy Award for Best Director. And that was for Hurt Locker.
Oh, shit. Should we tell the listeners the thing we're doing this season?
I was just hoping they were smart enough to catch it.
Never assume that.
No, actually, I just dropped the ball. So if you're wondering, we decided that we wanted to showcase women directors, women that have directed horror movies. To be honest, there's not a ton.
There's not enough.
Yeah.
We think that should change. And since we primarily focus on horror movies from the past hasn't been really kind to women directors or actors.
I think maybe we should focus on horror movies from the future.
Ones that haven't been made yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So wait. Hold on. You want to time travel?
Uh-huh. And just go get horror movies and bring them back.
You want to invent time travel?
I say we just stay where we are and speculate. That's easy.
Just imagine what horror movies are going to be like.
Order a pizza, sit around and talk about what might happen later.
Yeah. What do you think horror movies are going to be like in 2030, JD?
Oh, man, they're going to be about like
all right, I hate this
pandemics and
podcast
stuff.
already. We're going back to our original format.
Ooh.
We're going to take horror movies from the past. All right. That's what we're going to do.
Well, yeah, let's stick with that.
But yeah, so what we're doing is we're going to be focusing on 4 movies, 4 separate directors, And just to showcase and highlight some awesome horror movies from women directors.
Fantastic.
That's it. We didn't drag this out longer than it needs to be.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been better placed at the top of the episode
Oh, absolutely.
rather than 10 minutes into the episode. But
Yeah, man.
Sure.
Yeah, whose fucking fault is that? Oh, that's right. It's mine. All right. Now, wait. Now let's find out who cares. Hold on. Yeah. No one fucking cares, Joe. All right.
No one cared. That's
I
fine.
just want this to be a professional show. All right, that's all I want.
Wait. You want this to be a professional show?
Yeah,
Well, that's why you guys acquired my services. I'm here to make this pro.
I mean, fucking Brainworms is never going to be a professional show. So, like, I'm shooting for the moon
all right,
here.
well, how about you quit whining and
And I talk about Kathryn Bigelow some more. How about that?
keep telling us about her.
Yeah, let's do that.
Sure. So, yeah, she holds a shitload of honors and awards, 46 total awards, along with several nom-noms.
Like food?
Well, nominations, but nom-nom-nom, you know?
Okay.
Anyway, she made Time Magazine's 2010 list of most influential people of that year. Joe was actually 2011's.
That's true.
Wait, Time Magazine?
Yeah, Time Magazine. Don't you remember?
Well, which one are you talking about? Are you talking about the one that's TIME or the other one?
Oh, no. TYME, Time. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like the herb?
Like the spice.
No,
Yeah,
that's
let's hear
that's THYME. No,
Yeah.
it's the low rent bunk one.
The low rent time.
Yeah.
Borrowed time.
It's not actually a magazine, it's just some drunk people caught a picture of you and just scribbled all over it and just said you are the man of the year.
We need to start a horror themed magazine called Borrowed Time, and we just like focus on like all the killings in horror movies. Anyway, yeah. I think she's incredible for her accomplishments, and I wish she was involved with more horror films.
Yes.
It's one of those things where, like, I guess I just don't even know really how I feel about the other films, and, like, I feel like if she had occupied her time with more horror films, like...
She wouldn't have been as successful.
Yeah, she wouldn't have made as much money and gotten the
Awards.
Time Magazine acknowledgement
Right.
and all the other things.
Well,
Yeah.
we don't know that. How do we
I
know?
mean, we
what
kinda
if she
do.
made the best horror film that eyes have ever focused on?
Well, I mean, all I'm saying is can you name a person that does almost exclusively horror or mostly horror that is currently sitting with an Oscar?
I don't know about an Oscar. Stephen King is well respected.
Not his movies.
Not his movies, no.
He must be holding some type of trophy.
Remember that horror has been looked at as
Yeah.
being pulp, as being
Yeah, as much as we love
trash,
it, horror is
so.
not a well respected genre.
So while I get it, she could have done some like low budget, sneaky movies on the side, but she had some shit to take care of, and I wish she would have done more because I really liked Near Dark. I think Near Dark's a great movie.
Yeah, it was cool. I enjoyed it. This was actually the first time I've seen the film, and well, we're gonna get to that later, though. I think.
Yeah. I'm sorry, we keep
Shouldn't I
interrupting
talk
you.
about the producer?
Yeah,
No,
why don't you
it's fine. I mean,
tell us about
that's
the
why
producer.
I'm here. I'm here to be interrupted. So
Are you just our punching bag?
I'm more of a like a speed bag.
Fuck. Now we're gonna get mail about this.
Yeah, you're gonna get tons of mail. Anyway, Near Dark was produced by Stephen Charles Jaffe, born somewhere during a particular time in 1951. Jaffe's body of work speaks to me a bit more, being that he produced one of my favorite horror films of all time, Motel Hell, made in 1980. Well, released in 1980, rather. Jaffe is best known for producing the film Ghost with Patrick and Demi and Whoopi.
Yeah.
That was big time. Jaffe, he's had his fair share of douchey war films too. He actually started his career with one in 1975. However, he quickly sprung his way into horror in 1977 with the film Demon Seed as the associate producer.
Nice.
Yeah, and he actually co-wrote and produced Demon Seed along with his brother Robert and his father Herb Jaffe.
Nice.
Yeah, I believe we've talked about Herb before and a few
Yeah.
other flicks we've covered. Stephen went on to write and produce Motel Hell with his brother Robert.
Yeah, we need to make sure we cover Motel Hell at some point.
Yeah, we keep coming back to it.
It might even need to happen this season. I feel Motel Hell coming on strong in season 3, so...
Do you feel some demon seed coming on strong?
Demon seed just comes on strong. You don't feel it. You just
You just smell it and taste it.
Gross.
Ugh. Well, let's not yuck anyone's yum. So anyway, Steven produced The Fly 2 in 1989.
Yeah, The Fly 2 wasn't very good.
Yeah, Fly 2
You know,
was
I
terrible.
didn't mind The Fly 2.
Cool effects, but not a great movie.
No, not really good at all.
Enough body horror for me to be a fan. And that's pretty much the skinny on Stephen Jaffe. And actually, though, I will include that he produced Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, just because I am also a fan of some sci-fi.
Nerd.
No argument there.
All right. You got anything else? Any more tidbits for us to chew on?
That's about as
That's
titty
it?
bitty as I get, yeah.
All right, Joe, why don't you give us some info about the writer?
Yeah, I got you. Kathryn Bigelow was credited as a writer for this film. JD handled that, so I'm not going to.
Lazy. So lazy.
The co-writer was writer, director, novelist Eric Red, born Eric Joseph Dirtler, Dirtler, however you want to say that. I understand why he changed it to Eric Red. He was born on February 16th, 1961 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and he was raised in Manhattan.
Wait, say that again?
I don't know why I'm saying words weird today.
Yeah.
Wasn't Eric Red also a hellacious Viking?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah, he was raised in Manhattan. I'll say that like a
There we
sensible
go.
human.
Like a fucking normal person?
Yeah. Yeah, he's known for kind of dark, gritty films. He studied... Fuck me. He studied screenwriting. He studied screenwriting.
Oh, does that mean he's got like a bunch of little baby screenwriters running around? Is that what we're talking about, Joe? You fucking weirdo?
No, he put little rhinestones on his screenplays.
Damn it.
Back to our rhinestone cowboy protagonist in Near Dark.
Or like those pyramids that punk rockers put on their battle vests.
Do you have any idea how long it would take to put those on any article of clothing?
To put studs on an article of clothing? Is that what we're talking about now?
Man, that shit took forever.
Yeah, it's time consuming. I have a shoulder bag that I put a bunch of those on. It does take a long time.
Yeah.
I should talk about...
Yeah, why don't you tell us...
about Eric Red.
You should talk about Eric Red a little bit.
Yeah. He studied... I don't know why I can't say that word.
You just keep on thinking about hot studs.
Yeah.
Let me get a drink of my coffee and try this again. He studied screenwriting. There we go. At the American Film Institute Conservatory, which is a renowned private film school in Los Angeles, and graduated in 1983. He made his first short film, Gunman's Blues, and he apparently paid for a lot of it out of pocket to the point that he bankrupted himself.
Good on you, buddy.
And had to work as a New York taxi driver for a year.
Fuck yes.
Right? So punk rock.
Bleed for that fucking career.
Fuck
Do it.
But he got it together. He found success as a writer and a director, and apparently wrote the comic book series Containment. And then apparently in 2000, and this is kind of tabloidy, but it's an interesting bit of trivia, he passed out and crashed his truck into a crowded bar in LA.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. He survived, but obviously other people were injured. Actually, people were killed, apparently. 2 young men
Oh my God.
were killed in the accident. And no criminal charges were filed, which is interesting. I don't know what the story is there.
I'm assuming he was not fucking drunk, is what it was.
Sure. But it does say he lost consciousness. So that's like maybe it was a medical situation. I don't know.
Right.
But a jury in a civil suit awarded monetary charges over $1 million to the families of the 2 men who were killed in the accident. So that's interesting.
I will say this. I am ever run over by someone that fell asleep at the wheel.
Yeah.
I would like you to try to squeeze $1 million out
Hell
of that
yeah.
person. Give most of it to my kid and then, keep like a finder's fee for yourself.
Yeah, of course. He didn't do a ton of horror. His horror credits include Near Dark, obviously, Bad Moon,
Okay.
something called Body Parts, and a movie called No Man's Ridge, which is apparently about a murderous Sasquatch, which I don't appreciate. Sasquatch is a gentle creature and should not be misrepresented in that way.
You watched Harry and the Hendersons a lot, didn't you?
I saw some reruns of Harry and the Hendersons, yeah.
And that's kind of what established your opinion about the Sasquatch?
Yeah, he's a gentle giant. He would not
Okay.
hurt
Yeah.
anyone.
He doesn't eat meat?
No, he only eats plants.
Right.
That's very green of a Sasquatch.
Yeah,
Small carbon footprint despite the size of his actual foot. Yeah.
exactly. I mean, he's got big footprints. He's got big feet, you know. That's why they call him Big Feet.
I thought they called it Bigfoot.
You say it your way, I'll say it my way, all right?
Right.
I just know that if Sasquatch found you lost in the woods on a cold night, he would take you and embrace you and keep you warm.
Yep. And you'd be lucky.
Exactly.
This is getting weird. Why don't you talk about the cinematographer?
I think
Why don't
it's
you go to
been
hell?
weird. Yeah.
I'm not going to hell.
Cinematography by Adam Greenberg, born November 30th, 1939 in Krakow, Poland, and raised in Tel Aviv, Israel. He began working as a film lab technician in 1958, and he kind of parlayed that, worked his way up the ladder, and began working as a cameraman in the 60s. He worked with David Perlov on his documentary In Jerusalem, which is considered to be one of the most important films in Israeli history.
Okay.
He's retired now, but he had a long career. His credits go on and on and on, from the 50s well into the 2000s. He came out of retirement, speaking of James Cameron, to help James Cameron with the 3D conversion of Terminator 2 in 2017. His only horror credits are Near Dark, Once Bitten, and Spellbinder. I've only heard of Near Dark. I don't know what those other two things are about.
Once Bitten is hilarious.
Once Bitten's fun. Yeah.
Is it?
Jim
Okay.
Carrey. Yeah, Jim
Yep.
Carrey was in that one.
I
Yep.
find Jim Carrey kind of annoying,
You would.
He has his moments, but
Sure.
overall, I like him.
but he's got a lot of credits. Terminator 1 and 2. Something called Party Games for Adults, which might be a porno.
It might.
I did some digging. It's either a porno or it's actually like a video of sex games that you can play at a party. Like maybe it's like a swinger situation. I'm not sure.
We'll just leave the rest of that to the listener's imagination.
Sure. The 80s were weird.
Yeah.
The 80s were a weird time. But he also did cinematography on Snakes on a Plane and Ghost.
I personally loved Snakes on a Plane.
It's a fun movie. And those two things and the other three are the closest he got to horror.
Right. So are we ready to move on to the actors?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. First, we're going to start with Adrian Pazdar, who is an ice cream biter, which is super offensive. And he plays the role of Caleb Colton. Adrian was born in Pittsfield, Massachusetts on April 30th, 1965. His sister, Anna Marie Pazdar, is a theatrical artistic director and producer. At the age of 19, he auditioned for a role in Top Gun, and the part of Chipper was written just for him. He's had an extensive television career. God, I'm starting to catch Joe's mumble mouth.
Yeah, I don't know, man. My tongue is too big for my mouth.
Where you just keep saying stud over and over again.
It's because I'm thinking about you, JD.
Nice.
Like
And your side dong.
studs.
He's had an extensive television career. One of his best known roles was as Nathan Petrelli in the only one good season of the show Heroes.
Never saw Heroes.
Had one good season. Everything
Right on.
else was trash. His horror credits are Near Dark, Ghost Brigade, and House of Frankenstein from 1997.
With De Niro, right?
No, that's not De Niro.
Whose house? Frankenstein's house.
Well, I'm glad that happened. That's forever.
It's like the run DMC.
Yeah. I knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just Jenny Wright. The night is so bright. And she played the role of May. She was born in New York City on March 23rd, 1962. She made her film debut in The World According to Garp, which is not a horror movie, but just a funny sounding name of a movie.
Garp.
Garp. That same year, she made an appearance in Pink Floyd The Wall.
Great movie.
Yeah. Her horror credits are Near Dark, I, Madman, and The Lawnmower Man.
Also a pretty good movie.
I think is a pretty good movie.
We should do Lawnmower Man.
Yeah, well, we're not doing it right now, are we, Joe? Right now, we're doing Near Dark, aren't we?
Fine.
Touche.
Let's talk about Near Dark.
All right, so next, we've got Lance Hendrickson.
Hell yeah.
Vampire boss daddy, Jesse Hooker. He was born in Manhattan on May 5th, 1940. This dude is absolutely no stranger to horror. And I'm not even talking about films.
Would you say that he's no stranger to love?
I think he might be a stranger to love. This poor bastard's early life was a fucking horror show.
Mm.
He was pushed out of his home at the age of 12 after being assaulted by family members. This dude had it rough. I don't want to dive too deep into the negative side of his life, but he got into show business at the age of 30 as a set designer. And he actually received his first role because he built the set for the production. And they were like, well, you did all this work. I guess you could do some talking too. The craziest part about that is that he was illiterate because he never went to school.
Right.
So he taught himself to read while he was learning this part. And he put the entire script to tape with the help of a friend. Like a friend read the script for him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he learned everyone's part in addition to his own.
What a badass.
Right.
Was this Pumpkinhead?
No.
Oh, never mind.
No. Pumpkinhead was after Near Dark. But yeah, so his horror credits are Mansion of the Doomed, Damien, Omen 2, The Visitor, Piranha 2, Nightmares, Aliens, Near Dark, and Pumpkinhead. This dude's been in a lot of horror movies.
Right.
Like so many, I'm not going to dig through all of it. But there's just so much horror, and we have so much love for Lance. Big fan of his work.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Next, we got Bill Paxton, No Trouble with a Hog Leg, and he played Severin. Born in Fort Worth, Texas on May 17th, 1955, Bill was an actor, musician, director, producer, and a writer. One of his earliest roles was of the Punk in The Terminator. And unfortunately, Bill died in February of 2017. His horror credits are Mortuary, Aliens, Near Dark, Brain Dead, Predator 2, and Frailty. And then we've got Jeanette Goldstein, Switchblades and One-Liners. That was pretty much what she rolled with as Diamondback.
Right. That's all you need.
Exactly, yeah. She was born in Los Angeles, California on February 4th, 1960. Her first film role was Aliens. And honestly, that's part of why she was cast in Near Dark. Lance, Bill, and Jeanette had already developed this really tight bond. And I think it shows really clearly in this movie. Like they have like a chemistry around each other. Like they had just filmed like a gnarly ass movie before this movie.
Right.
But she doesn't have a lot of horror credits. She's got Aliens, Near Dark, and Autopsy. I know some folks want to try to categorize Aliens and Alien and that as sci-fi movies.
I mean, they are, but they're totally horror movies.
They're definitely sci-fi horror movies.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. They're gory.
I like sci-fi horror. There's not enough good sci-fi horror.
Do you know the reason for that?
No, tell me.
Because most sci-fi is trash.
That's fair.
And also, we call a lot of sci-fi horror cosmic horror. I think there is a distinction there that...
Yeah, that is also true.
That's true, but like I'm talking about like spaceships and that kind of thing.
Oh, for
Right,
sure.
like Event Horizon is
Yeah.
probably like the pinnacle of sci-fi horror.
Yeah, Ghosts of Mars, but that movie sucked.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Next, we've got Joshua Miller, and he took the moody teen bit way too far. And that was Homer. Born in Los Angeles, California on December 26, 1974, he's the son of playwright Jason Miller and pinup Susan Bernard. He began appearing in films and television at the age of 8. His first film role was Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, which I really enjoy. I love that.
I like that movie too.
Yeah, so his horror credits are Halloween 3, Near Dark, Class of 1999, which is a fucking bizarro movie, and The Wizard of Gore. Next, so this guy, I've seen him in everything. It's Tim Thomerson, and he was just the boss daddy. He was not the vampire boss daddy.
Sure.
And he was Lloyd Colton. Born in Coronado, California on April 8th, 1946, he's best known for his role in Trancers, which is a Charles Band directed film series.
Ooh.
There's a fucking ton of these movies, but it's not horror, so look it up yourselves. I'm not going to talk about it. He began his career as a stand-up comedian, but his horror credits are Fade to Black, Doll Man vs. Demonic Toys,
Nice.
Unseen Evil, and then a shit ton of other random horror that, honestly, I'm just not going to dig through it.
Right.
And then last but not least, we've got Marcy Leeds. And she was the little kid that did whatever the fuck she wanted, and I salute her. She played Sarah Colton. She was born in Port Jefferson, New York on November 14th, 1977. Moved to California at age 3, got her first acting gig at age 6. Sure, there's some trauma there, but we don't need to talk about that. Her horror credits are Near Dark, Out of the Dark, and Wheels of Terror.
Did you just say Eels of Terror?
No, I said Wheels of Terror.
Oh, okay.
Did you just say wheel in the sky, keep on turning?
Yeah. So, the score. I do want to ask, though, Joe, how exactly did that feel? Because we do it to JD anytime he says a joke that's not funny.
Which is never. All of my jokes are hilarious.
It doesn't really bother me because I can sense your mild annoyance, and that to me is just as validating as your laughter would have been.
And because Joe is the main editor of the show, he could just paste that dead silence together and make it sound like it never happened.
Because, and you know this about yourself, you have a very distinctive laugh.
I do.
And you laugh loud and long anytime something tickles you. So any dumb shit that I say, I can cut it so that it sounds like you thought it was fucking hilarious.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts. Anyhow.
Yeah.
The score was done by Tangerine Dream.
God bless them.
Yeah.
They started in 1967 in Berlin, Germany. They scored a lot of movies. Their horror movies are pretty fun. I don't know if you guys have seen The Keep, but that's a pretty fun horror movie.
Sure.
But they did The Keep, Firestarter, and Near Dark.
Mm-hmm.
Some of their songs have actually been featured in Stranger Things because they have a very distinctive 80s feeling
80s energy,
to their music.
Yeah.
Did you figure out if the country songs were also Tangerine Dream?
They were not. So there were 3 songs. One was by Jules Holland, one was by George Strait, and one was by the Cramps.
Right on.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, so that's it for the score. JD, you want to tell us a little bit about special effects and how special those effects were?
I'd love to. Yeah, they're pretty special. There weren't a whole lot. There's some mostly gun blasts.
Yes,
and
pretty good
some
gunshots.
prosthetic teeth. Yeah, that was the main extent of the special effects. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about our special effects artist here, credited on Near Dark as Dale L. Martin. There were 4 other special effect artists credited, but they were all listed as assistants, so I just assumed that Dale L. Martin was the head honcho there. And when I looked a little bit deeper into Martin, it all kind of makes sense that he would be the ringleader there for the department, because his credits are fairly extensive.
Right.
I found a few interesting titles in his credits, but first, Martin was born June 22nd, 1942 in Santa Monica, California. He's best known for his special effects works on films such as RoboCop of 1987
Nice, yeah.
and Total Recall of 1990, both
Amazing.
Hell
the
yeah.
original versions. Yeah, the unsullied, unruined versions, in my opinion, by remakes, because all that always sucks.
Yeah, the RoboCop remake wasn't very good.
No, it made me sad.
Yeah.
And really, truly, I mean, even Total Recall, I know some people were like, tried to, give that some love, and I thought that was a piece of crap. Yeah, it was just stupid. And like, I don't know, fucking fight me if you don't like it, but the legacy of both of those films were ruined by the remakes. Anyway, that's a hot moment of passion for me, but
Right.
I'm going to move on now. I'm going to move past it.
I mean, if you've got something you want to get out of your system, man, this is the place for it.
Yeah, this is the place
You've
for
got
it,
a
man.
microphone pointed
Nah, man,
at your face.
I wound my neck back in. I'm ready to finish the topic here at hand.
Are you like that He-Man action figure that like the neck cranked up out of his torso?
No, wind your neck in is like a figure of speech. I don't know if they
I've
use it
never
much
heard anyone
here,
say
but
that.
like if you're getting hot and bothered about something, it's kind of like, yeah, wind your neck in.
Okay.
Anyway,
That's a special JD-ism.
I don't know about that. I think people use it.
Maybe it's like a Chicago thing. I don't know.
No, man, I've heard it a bunch.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyway, Martin did some other cool stuff, not much related to horror, but I'll name a few, either because I liked it or because it kind of came close to horror. He was involved as the special effects artist on Tombstone of 1993.
Great movie.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
You tell him he's brought down the thunder.
Hell yeah, that movie was fucking sweet.
Yeah, it
Anyway,
was really good.
he also was involved in a sci-fi-ish flick called Space Hunter: Adventures in the Forbidden Zone that came out in 1983. And to be clear, it's not a porn.
I'll adventure in your forbidden zone.
Right. Just a weird film title. The only other true horror film that Martin worked on came out in 1985, a film called Hellhole.
Nice.
Yeah, it's an action horror drama.
That's a lot of things for a movie to be.
Yeah, it's all sorts of things. It's almost too long a list for one film to live up to. So, but that's what it's credited as. So I'm gonna go ahead and believe it. I don't know that I'll watch it, but
Right.
I'll take their word for it. So yeah, that's our special effects. That's our artist there.
All right. Well, then, why don't we go ahead and talk about our personal experience with the movie? Because I experienced both of your personal experiences with the movie.
Well, I have a split experience, but yes, Joe, start us up, please.
Sure. Yeah, I had never seen this movie until tonight. I don't think I had even heard of it until we kind of workshopped what we were going to watch this season. So yeah, tonight, watching it right before we recorded this was my first experience with Near Dark. And I liked it. It's a pretty unambiguous movie. It's exactly what it says on the can. I don't have a lot of questions about it. I don't feel like there's a lot of mysteries. It had that kind of cult classic energy that movies like The Lost Boys and to some extent, and Kane gives me shit every time I mention this movie, but like even kind of The Crow has.
Oh, I need to clear this up real quick.
Yeah.
So I rewatched City of Angels.
Mm-hmm.
That movie is dog shit, Joe.
I think it's okay.
When was the last time you watched it?
Probably at least 5-10 years.
Okay, you should probably give it another go. It doesn't hold up.
Okay, it might be nostalgia goggles. But yeah, Near Dark had that same kind of vibe to it. And you said that it was kind of held up in that regard as one of those kind of cult classic movies.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of love for this movie.
Yeah, it has that kind of energy. I don't know. I guess that's all I have to say.
That's all you have to say about that. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's definitely a cult classic at this point.
Sure.
People really got behind this movie because it's so different.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'll talk about that. JD, go ahead and tell me your personal experience.
Yeah. And so it's interesting that I didn't even realize that going into this viewing party we held this evening, I thought this was the first time that I'd seen the movie, but I actually saw this movie once before, but with no volume. It was at one of my favorite bars in Chicago. It's like an arcade bar. It's actually called Logan Arcade. Anyway, I was sitting in there and they had it playing, and I was just kind of like loving the hell out of it, sitting at the bar, sipping my beer. But I didn't ask anyone like, oh, what is this, by the way? I just kind of was, probably a little tipsy. And I just decided to sit there, and there was a DJ in the front room, and I think he was playing like, I don't even know, some type of like old bebop music or something. It like didn't match the movie very well, so it kind of like, I didn't know about the Tangerine Dream score or any of that. So, but I felt like it still coupled well with the film. The more I drank,
Right.
I guess
it worked out.
Sense.
Yeah, it worked out. But anyway, there was that scene where the youngest, visually youngest vampire, who was actually like the grandpa vampire, he like pulls that dude. He's playing dead on the side of the road, and then the guy comes to check and see if he's all right, and he yanks him down and has this blood feast. I thought that was pretty cool, but that was like the moment that really grabbed me in the film. But yeah, other than that, tonight I've officially watched Near Dark, and I have to say, for a vampire film, I definitely favored this movie. It's definitely very 80s, very heavy-handedly 80s. Between the hair and the just the way makeup was worn, and everything is just plenty of 80s.
The leather vests.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and the wardrobe, was interesting in this film, and I almost kind of feel like, maybe when Rob Zombie was making his, House of a Thousand Corpses, or what's the other one, the Devil's Rejects, there might be some subtle nods to...
Well, I mean, I don't feel like Rob Zombie does a subtle nod to anything. I feel like...
He's not a subtle filmmaker.
Yeah, I think he does like well, this worked really well in this movie, I'm going to replicate it almost shot for shot. Fuck you, Rob Zombie. I hate your
Well,
movies.
I guess I'm just talking about like,
zombie episode so much.
the vibe, the wardrobe, misbehavior of the antagonists.
Yeah, I mean, all of his horror movies have this like late 70s to late 80s vibe to them.
Yeah.
And those are the movies that he loved. You know, I shit on his films because I didn't enjoy the character development he did, but honestly, I love the fact that a guy that just loved horror movies
Right.
just made horror movies that he liked. So
Right.
while I don't like them,
And you don't like what he did to Halloween.
that's a whole other conversation. But I'm talking about his movies that are his
Yeah.
IP, you know, like that.
Yeah. He's a fan.
He is a horror fan,
Yeah.
and he made movies as a horror fan, not as someone trying to tell a story.
Right.
Right. And I appreciate his work, though, at least the early stuff. I haven't seen any of the remakes. I don't have that venom toward, you know, the
It's
Halloween
bad.
movies because I just left them out of my diet. I was like, no, most remakes, I kind of leave them alone, but that especially.
Right. I'm just going to lay this down for anyone that's listening that gives a shit what I say, which is probably none. This is mostly for me then. If you're going to do a remake, right? Like if it's going to get done and you're like, fuck it, they're going to do it no matter what, I might as well try to make it as good as I can. Do not give me a tragic backstory for a previously non-tragic murderer.
Sure.
I don't want that shit. It doesn't make the movie better. It makes it to where the movie is dumber. End rant.
Yeah. No, I get that.
All right, so my personal
Wait,
experience
hold
with the movie.
on a moment. JD, were you done? We kind of went off on a journey.
You know, yeah, I was kind of like in the midst of my
Oh, well, I
personal
apologize,
experience.
buddy.
No, it's cool,
We
man.
talk about Rob Zombie and it gets my
It gets him all fired up.
my
got
hackles.
your-
Gets his hate boner.
Yeah.
Hate boner popping.
my hate boner pop.
I jostled your undercarriage with all of that. I get it. No, I guess I brought that up because as a horror fan, and I see the comparison. I understand what you're saying about, you know, I don't even know why I brought the Rob Zombie thing up, but
Probably just
were-
to piss me off.
no, I mean, maybe subconsciously, but no, actually, I felt like there was some type of like, you know, I hadn't seen this movie before, and then like, but the movies that I felt like I said, I'd mentioned that, you know, there were like nods to this, and I didn't even know what it was, and now I'm seeing, like, I'm understanding, like, oh, okay, that maybe where that came from. Like,
Sure.
he was just a horror film fan and was into this place and time and horror in the, you know, in the genre, and kind of like that's how his films maybe sort of resurfaced with some of near dark energy to it, you know.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and shut the hell up and let Kane talk about his personal experience with the film.
You know, this is going to be similar to JD's movies with Grandma. My dad kind of just cut me and my brother loose in the video store and just let us pick whatever we want. And so that's what I did. And that's when I watched this was many, many moons ago. And my dad liked it because there really wasn't any sex in it. It was just violence, you know, because, you know, ministers, that's how they view life.
Right,
Violence is
right.
okay, but sexual gratification is bad. But that's really, I mean, I just remember watching it with my little brother. We were just in Trenton, Ohio, in some shitty apartment, watching this movie, eating popcorn. That my dad had this thing where he would make the popcorn, and then he would cut up summer sausage into like little chunks,
Mhm.
and he would throw that into the popcorn,
Mhm.
and then he would dump a bunch of cheese in there as well,
Okay.
and then mix it up really well. So we would have this kind of delicious snack while we were watching our movies.
Sure.
But that's pretty much it. I've always liked the movie. I watch it every couple of years.
Right on.
I don't have nothing to throw into the internet and see if we get anything back. It's just a really well done kind of vampire,
Yeah.
almost Western.
Yeah, it definitely has some Western energy. And I feel like it wouldn't have been, and I guess I could have said this when it was my, you know, thing, but I didn't think about it. I feel like it wouldn't have been, like, it could have very easily fallen into the camp of 80s cheese, but every actor in it was just bringing 100%.
Yep, absolutely.
And I think that's what really made it work.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think a lot of that is because, you know, Lance, Bill, and Jeanette had already formed that tight bond on Aliens.
Sure.
So coming to this movie and already having that chemistry
Mhm.
really probably added to the film in
I
general.
agree.
They did a lot with a little. It was performance based, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely performance-based. I will say that Michael Biehn, might be Michael Bine. I don't know. I think it's Michael Biehn, though.
Mhm.
He was also in Aliens and was also Kyle Reese in the original Terminator.
Uh-huh.
He was actually offered the role of Jesse Hooker, but he rejected the role because he found the script confusing, and Lance took over.
It was a pretty straightforward. All right.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, cool.
Does anybody have anything else they want to say?
I'm good.
No, I would encourage our listeners to give Near Dark a view if they have
Yeah,
not
yeah,
seen
yeah.
it
Check it
already.
out.
If you watch Near Dark, let us know what you think. You can find us at wegiveYouBrainworms.com, as well as most places podcasts live. Honestly, if you get the opportunity to review us, like if you're listening on iTunes or any place where you can review a podcast,
Mm-hmm.
even if you just want to tell us how much you hate me, do a review,
Right.
because that's gonna help us in the long run.
Yeah. Oh, and one thing that I'm encouraging, because specifically a lot of Butcher Blocks listeners are on Spotify and Stitcher and those kind of places, find the Brainworms Presents YouTube channel and give that a subscription. Because I really
Definitely.
want to get us to 100 YouTube subscribers.
Because those numbers really matter.
It would just make me happy. And
it would.
And I think if you get 100 subs, you can get a custom URL.
Maybe. It might be like 1,500 subs, but
It might be. But either way, I want to get 100 subs, goddammit. So if you're listening on a podcast host, go onto YouTube and find the Brainworms Presents channel and subscribe to it.
You can actually get to it through our website.
Oh, you sure can.
Brainworms.com.
We give you brainworms.com. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's a thing that I linked a bunch of stuff in.
Hell yeah.
Aside from that, send us a message. Definitely comment, join our Discord. We're always happy to hang out with people. And we warn you, we really do warn you now.
Yeah,
against
it's important.
forgetting to like or
That would be
dislike,
bad.
follow, and subscribe to us on YouTube.
And click that bell. It's right there.
Yeah, all those things. Do a lot of clicking.
Yeah.
Just 4 clicks
Click,
max.
Click it or ticket.
Click, 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 click. And possibly the number of keyboard strokes it takes to leave like a "you guys suck, fuck you" in the comment section.
Alrighty. I think
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
that's all I have to say about that.
I jostled your undercarriage.